Fight, flight, or freeze. They got a new one, fawn. It's all the F's. Fight, flight, freeze, fawn. Fawn, I don't know, man. It's the new one. It's the new additive to the codependent menu of traits. And the interesting thing about it is we didn't know we were doing it. That's how people with self-love deficit, whatever you want to call it, the codependent, whatever, the people that were raised by very arrogant, entitled people that treated you like an object and to soothe their emotional problem or whatever it is, and pit people against each other all around them to create drama so that they're in control of everything, or they like whatever. We do this thing. We didn't know that we were doing it. It was just a system of communication with a narcissist or group of narcissists, whatever your case is. It's a style of communication that we have learned makes things smoother for us. The person that is struggling in this relationship, whether you're a child growing up or a spouse or whatever it is, but you're just trying to get through the next 5 minutes without drama. So we employ this technique that has been labeled fawning, which is kind of a gross thought, because you think of like a young schoolgirl fawning over some older 20-something-year-old guy that's sexy, or some surfer boy or whatever. You just think of it, I didn't fawning. So it's a gross thought, but that's real obvious. This is something different, and I found it interesting that they called it fawning, because really it is. I was like, I can't believe I spent my life doing this. It was so insincere. See how manipulative you were, Karen? Look, no, hold up. They taught us to do it. They said, this is how you communicate with other people. But they just kind of manipulated us into learning how to do it in order to survive and not have our asses kicked day and night by these narcissists, even though some kids did have their asses kicked day and night. I mean, some of these narcissistic parents are physically abusive really bad. Some are just mentally. Some are all the way, you know what I mean? But just to keep the peace. It's like you'd be like, fawning can involve a lot of things. It can involve even pretending to be happy when you're not, because you're not allowed to have feelings that they consider negative or inconvenient to them. You're sad, you're crying, oh shit, here we go. What is it now? I mean, shit, you might have cut your finger off. Your mother didn't give a fuck. Just shut the fuck up, and guiding light is on. My stories are on. Shh. My mother wasn't big into this. My mother wasn't into this. My grandmother watched On the Edge of Night and like something else. Young and the Restless. Ding, ding, dong, 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 dong. I could hear it in my head. And it was funny because they were half-hour shows. They weren't long. And I remember her being at the table. She kept me when I was in kindergarten. I remember her having this big kitchen table with a tablecloth on it and all, where she kept her money on her. It was a big lump. Anyway, this is bizarre people. But she would fall asleep at the table, wake herself up, then she'd vomit a little bit in the sink. Years later, it turned out she had colon cancer. But I'm thinking, well, it's no wonder. But when I look back at what we ate at that time, the 70s, it was all the bread and all that, hot dogs, peanut butter, chips. It was the new rage of the prepackaged foods. Well, I didn't know. I grew up with it. I thought everybody always had Fritos and all that shit, you know. God bless these people. My dad, my pop wound up with diabetes, and she wound up with, but she didn't die until she was like 83. I mean, it just went on forever. But she at least I should remember, why does this sink smell like puke? Like she would just blurp a little bit, like whoop, and spit. And I just thought that's what grandmothers did, you know. And she couldn't have been any older than me. And I'm thinking, God dang, Grandma, I'm not doing that shit. Anyway, the fawning. The way that we... Fawning. It's a broad term when it comes to narcissism and how we treat the narcissist, because we can never, ever express our true feelings about anything. So that's right there's fawning, to be like, everything's fine. I'm fine. Even that... or all the way up to like serious, constant complimenting. I have somebody I know in my life that if you don't tell this person that their work is the most fabulous work that ever existed on the face of the earth, they'll stop working. They'll just stop working. My friend Linda's like, man, I got this contractor at my house. It's taking him 3 weeks to put some countertops in, and he says he can't do that because of this and that, and he can't. I got to get a new sink because he can't cut it down. I'm like, and she said, and he just did something, and it just kind of looked a little crooked or something to me. And I said something to him, and he said, I can stop right now. I can pack my kit bag up right now and leave, man. I don't need to be here. Whoa! What kind of narcissist is working for? She's like, oh my God, Karen, what am I gonna do? I'm like, I don't know, Linda. Hopefully he's done by now. I said, I'll send Tim over, man. He'll do it. He'll do it. He might be nuts, but man, that motherfucker, he'll do it, and he'll do it well, quickly. Send a cleanup crew in, and he'll leave. I mean, he's not going to tell you. Believe me, she would be afraid to tell Tim if she didn't like something he did because he's like 7 foot tall and 450 pounds. So, anyway, we fawn without even knowing it. Every time we acquiesce to some asshole in line at the store or whatever, it's a form. I'm going to stretch that term and say it's a form of fawning. To not be like, hey, no, you can't put up me in line. If you're just like, okay, sorry. That's fawning. Let's stop being little fawns. Oh! My goodness. Let us stop. Whatever happened to let's be cougars. And that, I don't mean in a way that goes out and finds young men to... But cougars, like lionesses... bitches. Now I understand why, years back when I'm like, oh yeah, you say bitch like it's a bad thing. My friend had it on her motorcycle helmet. I thought, God, I wish she wouldn't call herself that. And I really do wish she wouldn't. I do. I don't like that one. But where's my dogs? Where's my bitches at? But when I see, I'm going, wait a minute. If I look at that term and say fierce love and defense for myself and for my kids or whatever, I still don't like the word. But I get it. Let's stop being fawns and let's be more like my bitches. Because my bitches are very loving. My dogs, when they see a dog on the road, like yesterday, I thought they were going to fly through the door. The lady forgot to text me to tell me she was going to walk her dog. Well, thank God I brought my dogs in because I'm afraid they're going to attack them. Anyway, I'll have to text her today and say, Sherry, don't forget to text me. You were almost mauled to death by my bitches. All right, y'all. Let's stop fawning. Let's stop it. It's just, and when you realize what you're doing, it's like almost everything you say in public. If you've been through this, like to strangers, it's just like it's a fawn fest. It's a fawn fest in Karen's life. But I just gotta stop it. Anyway, love y'all. Peace out. Peace out, YouTube.